All right, I believe I told you before of the app that I'm going to be creating. You know, while you're creating your own, it's called Who Are You and the different things. Well, I decided to write it, but rather than just write it and throw all that stuff in, I wanted to make sure I really understood what it was I was trying to do. So I sat down last night and I wrote this. So it comes in there, and right now all the output just is on the screen. So what's your name? It's not, but I'm going to put 1-1, and you can see what we get. So it says I put that in, today's date, the year that I input, the month that I input, the day that I input, which would make my age this. Then it figures out what my astrological sign is, tells me some stuff about the astrological sign, etc. And then it does the same thing with the zodiac. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Good, because I'm going to have you do it. All right? And I'm going to go over all of these instructions right now. Now, Amin is not here today. Tiffany is not here today. The reason I'm even bringing that up is this is going to be a group assignment. So, I'm going to put up the same instructions that I've just given you. All right? I can email these to you if you want also, because there are a couple of links in there. So, I call this the final test. You can call it final exam. You can call it whatever you want. But for this, as it says, you are to replicate what I just showed you. And on the last page of this handout, there's only 2 pages. So on the second page, there is a run of the program. Okay? It's basically what I just showed you. But I put my wife's information in there instead of me. And I was not born January 1st. So I'd like you to call the program whoareyou.java and the class who are you. For this program, I would like you to try to work in groups of 3, since they're as shown. And I kind of just based it on you 3 sit together, you 3 sit together, and you 3 are almost together. So I just did it like that. All right, so there's group 1, there's group 2, there's group 3. Now, notice what it says. Please, number 1, spread yourselves out. It can get kind of loud. So if one of the groups is going to stay there and one is going to stay over here, then maybe the other group could move over there, or however you want to do it. All right? Try to talk in a quiet manner. In other words, you shouldn't be sharing information between the different groups. I'd like each group to try to do this and do it in your own way. All right? I would have one of you be the coder. So one of you sit there and key the stuff in, and the rest of you watch, and maybe one of the rest of you can be a recorder. In other words, if you come up with questions or whatever, you can write those down. Make sure when you get done at the end of the day today that you take your folder, and I can give you a flash drive or use your own, and copy it to the other members of your group. Now this is worth 100 points, but if you want, you can earn 25 extra credit points if you want to, by starting by using version control. And you can do this, we'll talk about this all down here in just a minute. And save your project iteration, so as you go on, hey, we've got this part done, it looks good, let's go and save this version. Then go on, do some more work, save a second version, etc. If you want to do that, and you make a reasonable attempt at trying to do that, you get 10 extra credit points. If you go out to GitHub, and if you don't have a GitHub account, you register for a GitHub account, and you put your project out on GitHub, you can get 15 extra points. So you could potentially get 125 points. All right, you will. Number 1, create the program. You can use Java, you can use Java Android, or you can use Java Kotlin. It's Your choice. All right? To be honest with you, I got this thing yesterday. I was talking to another person from Rankin about this. I got sent this email last night, and it said the newest in, for those of you who create your own videos, this is the newest, the latest, the greatest, etc. I thought, yeah, whatever. But I thought, what the hell? So I did click on it. It wasn't spam or anything like that. It really is pretty cool. It allows you to put avatars that actually have speech recognition right inside your videos. I can go up and literally do the equivalent of putting my finger on the screen and going like this and making the screen disappear and rewrite and do a bunch of other stuff. So, unknown to my wife, I went and bought $100 worth of their software yesterday. All right, and I'm going to start to try to teach myself. There's no way I'll have any of it done by this semester, but I'd like to start using it in fall. All right. Well, the reason I'm telling you that is while I was watching these videos and going back and forth, sometimes the videos were just all on, this is how you use it. These are the cool effects. Well, that I wanted to watch. Other times it was on the sound and stuff you could use. So I kept bouncing back and forth, and I just wrote it in Java. Okay? You must meet all the criteria shown on the next page and discussed in class. That's what we're doing now. You must write a modular program. In other words, everything that you do should be in its own method. Okay? Document, document, document. I don't think that requires any more talk. Ask the instructor if you have questions. Don't assume. So here's the specs. There are 13 of them. The first 10 are what you get graded on. Number 1, the user should be able to input their name. Again, if you decide to do this as an app, cool. That's fine. Just put all that information in there. It says no validation need be done for the name except you shouldn't allow a blank. So you'll notice, again, with what I just showed you with mine, and did I put a lot of stuff in there? Well, let me show you. So when I run this, and I don't put anything in there, and I click OK, all it does is it forces me to put something in there. And if I put blanks in there, I run the trim function. So again, it doesn't accept that. Does that make sense? So if I do put in blank, 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 Jeff, blank, Scott, blank, 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 type of thing, it'll take that, but it runs the trim function on it. Okay? Notice the birth year. And 1893 and 2018, how did I get that? I took the current year and subtracted 125 from it. I figured that would probably be the oldest person that would be around. So you'll notice if I put 1891, it doesn't take it. I'm not giving error messages. I'm not doing anything. I'm just basically requiring you to resubmit it. All right? If you happen to be born, let's say today's your 21st birthday. So what, 21, I don't know, what is that, 1997? 1990, let's say 7. That's fine. Same kind of thing, birth month. Notice if I put a 0 in there, it just doesn't take it. If I put 13 in there, it doesn't take it. All right? So if I say it's today, so what is it? 4? Whoops. 4. Then notice it immediately knows, and you know this logic because you've already done it, that it's between 1 and 30. So if I put in 31, that's not a valid day. See that? All right. So it's the 9th. Boom, you put that in. That's all the inputs. All right. And based on that, again, these are the outputs that you get. Today's date. This is the birth month, or the year that was input, the month that was input, the day that was input. You're 21, you're a Capricorn, you were born on the 99th day of the year, etc. You've got all that information given to you on that last page. All right? And I don't want to show you my program, but I will tell you it's not small, that these are blanks, but I've got 745 lines in it. All right? But when you look here, yeah, I put it all in one class. But this is what's in main. Input birth year is leap year, input birth month, configure max days, input birth day, configure day of year born, what's your sign, configure astrological stuff, configure zodiac sign, configure zodiac stuff, and then prints. So in other words, all I'm doing in main is it's a driver. And I made a couple variables that I just had in here. All right. So I would suggest that when you write these, you have a routine that first checks the birth month, then the birth day, then the birth year, and account for leap years. Again, you should be able to pull in all that code you've already done when we did the birthday program in Java. That really shouldn't be a big thing. All right? Then after you input this, figure out the user's current age to the day. All right? So how did I do that? I'm not going to lie to you. I Googled it. I said how to find out my current age to the day in Java. And I went and looked, and there were a bunch of different links, and one of them was No, I didn't even use the Stack Overflow. One of them showed like 6 ways of doing it, so I looked and used like the 3rd or 4th way. All right? Then after you've got that done, figure out, the current age, etc. And did I miss something in here? You also must figure out the day of the month, man. I might have left that out. But you've got to figure out the day of the month, or the day of the year you were born. And you need to know that stuff because your astrology stuff falls within a certain range. For instance, let's just say that day 1 through day 23 meant you're a Scorpio type of thing. So you've got to know what day of the year you were born, that kind of thing. All right. So you figure out the astrological info, you figure out the Chinese zodiac info, you print it all out. Again, main should be a driver where you either call things from main or you declare local variables, and that's it. Document. I'm going to give you the entire period today and tomorrow to work on this. And if you need it, Wednesday. We'll see where people are at the end of the day tomorrow. I'm going to give you a hard copy of what I did when we get done. All right? And you can take a look at it when you get done. Now, what I'd like each group to do, it'll just be us, so there shouldn't be any kind of pressure. But on Thursday, when we start, every group I'd like to have you go over what you did. It'll give you, it's a little precursor, so it'll give you a little experience of what it'll be like to actually do your presentation next month. All right? So that's what you're graded on. And to repeat it, the quality of your program, the interaction you have with the rest of your group, and your part in the presentation. Assume nothing. Ask if you have questions. If you say to me, how did you do this? That might be one of those questions I may not be able to answer for you. All right? Make sure to get input from each and every member of the group. That's part of your grade. Any questions? So you can go and you can go back if you want to IntelliJ IDEA and start up a new project. You can do whatever you want. I would suggest that you start by, and again, I'll send you hard copies of these. But if you look here, here's how you use Git with IntelliJ IDEA. How did I know that? I Googled how to use Git with IntelliJ IDEA. And this was from the JetBrains website. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And if you decide you want to go right into do it as an Android app, I typed in how to do Git with Android Studio. And it gave me that one. All right. I would suggest that if you think, yeah, maybe we'll try to get that extra credit, I would try to do the version control first before you even start. Okay. But I wouldn't do this, put the stuff under GitHub until you're all done. How to add an Android project, Studio project to GitHub. Well, I guess I reversed those. But there's how to add an IntelliJ IDEA project to GitHub. All right? So I will send you, I have to fix this. I've got, somehow I put that URL I put here and that URL I put there. So I'll fix those. And then I'm going to email you a hard copy or an electronic copy of this. So if you want to start with that, you can. Do you all understand what I'm asking you to do? Is there anybody who doesn't understand what I'm asking you to do? All right. Charles is going to be here this afternoon. I don't think he'll be stepping in here, but I may have told you this last week. I don't remember, and you may or may not have been here to hear this, but 2 of my students have grossly exceeded their maximum days that they can be absent. And when I say grossly, I mean grossly. So with one of them, he missed today. It was a 6th straight day, and we just think he's not coming back. So he's been removed already. The other 2 have been removed, and they're going to fight it, and I want them to fight it. All right? I don't think anybody in here is in any danger of that, but that said, for those of you who missed last Friday, I've got to get signatures from Valerie and from Ivy. All right? And I think with both of you, well, Valerie, it's your 5th, and Ivy, it's your 4th. All right? So I will send you this stuff momentarily. Go ahead, get together with in your groups, start thinking about what it is you want to do, how you want to do it, etc.